Hey Drawing 3, Mr. Matas here again. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how we're going to be documenting our progress on our finished unfinished drawing. I'm not going to be asking you to make a video. I've actually created a template for you, okay? So what I want to make sure that you do is that you watch this video and then do what I'm asking you to do. It's pretty easy, okay? So let's get going. So in the Google Classroom page for this class, I have created an assignment here, right? So when you go to 5.11 through 5.15.20, you're going to be able to see a Google Slide template, okay? So I clicked on it already, but make sure that you read this, okay? Notice how I'm giving you points for the drawing, image resources, and the notes. So you're going to see what I mean by that in a moment. So I click on it and I open it, and you have edit rights to this, okay? So you each get your own copy. Obviously here where it says student name, this is going to be your name. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine. Oops, me. I meant to put Mr. Matas. Learn to spell Matas. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then there. Now here, what I'm going to be doing here, notice how I have a what's working on this slide, and then on this slide I have what needs improvement. Also notice that I created here a text box for you, okay? So what we're going to be doing here is I'm actually going to be inserting a picture. So I can insert the picture through here or through here. This is easier for me. Now, because you're going to be on your Google Chromebooks for the most part, you could just go straight to your drive. So I go to my drive. Since these were recent images that I've used, okay, you should see all my pictures come up here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my drawing, and there it is. Okay, there's my drawing. I'm going to shrink it a little bit. Okay, bring it up in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert, so this is my drawing. So now I'm going to actually insert my resource image. So the resource image is the picture that I used for the drawing. And there it is. Okay, so I'm going to put that right next to it side by side. See that? Pretty easy, right? Okay, that's one of those things that I want to do. I am going to go ahead and zoom in again so I can see. Okay, now from here what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be writing down some of the things that I feel is working. Okay, now in my video, do you remember some of the things that I said I thought was working? You know, well, let's see. You know, I believe the color choices are working in the flesh tones. Now, what that means is, or what I mean by that, okay, is I'm not saying that I'm creating realistic flesh tones. Okay, I'm saying that, what is it that I'm saying then, right? You know, they are definitely creating contrast. Okay, good darks, you know, and highlights. Does that make sense? Okay, so make sure that I add it there. They are creating contrast, good darks and highlights. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about, right? Let's make sure that this is dark. Let's go black. Make sure that we could read it. Okay. The color choices are working. The flesh tones, they are creating contrast and whatnot. You know, I think for the most part my proportions are good. So those are things that I'm going to talk about as well. I think my composition is pretty good as well, so I'm going to talk about composition as well. Does that make sense? Okay, so now once I've done this, a simple thing I could do is click on this, hit Control C or right click. If you right click, you could actually copy. Okay, does that make sense? Because now what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my next slide here, and I'm going to hit Control V, or I right click and hit paste. Okay, and now suddenly I have both of my pictures in here already. See that? Pretty cool, huh? Alright, so then now I'm going to talk about what needs improvement. Alright, and this is the part that I think is really going to be the most beneficial. Okay, once again I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm writing in black so you can see. Okay, and I'm going to check, you know, I think some of the things that may need improvement, I think are going to be the hands. That's number one, right? You know, I feel the hand is too small. Okay, angles of fingers. Now, here one of the things that I could do that could be even more helpful is I could actually put in some of these some of my lines in here to actually show you what it is that I'm talking about, right? So that way you understand, or well, I understand more precisely what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, so that's a pretty easy thing to do. I mean, I could hit copy and then paste, and it gives me another arrow, right? Because then what I'm able to do is I could come into here and I could point at both of them, right? So it's telling me what's going on there. Another thing that I could do, which is actually kind of cool, right? So once I've got that in there, okay, is I think the angle of the arm is off. Okay, so here's another one. Angle of the arm is off. But how much is it off? That's weird. You know what? I'm going to be able to shift this to the back. So format options. I believe if I go nope. Size and rotation. There's a way that I can push it to the back. I'll have to do that later. Not a big deal. Okay. Where I put the text behind the, or excuse me, where I put the arrows behind the text. I can do that later. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so here one of the things that I could do is, since I'm talking the angle of the arm is off, right? Okay. So let me look at that. Let me first spell. So there we go. So one of the things I could do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select a line, right? And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go straight down, and I'm doing it on the wrong one. So I'm going to delete. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click my line. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. Yep, there it is. I'm going to come in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my line straight down here. Now, I'm going to change the color here, something different, blue. I'm going to change the thickness of it just to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. And now what I'm going to be able to, oops, and move down. Make sure you grab the line and not your picture. Okay. Now I'm going to bring that over here. And I could compare it. See, yeah, I'm a little off. Right? I'm a little off. Okay, I could do that as well with the eyes. I could do that as well here. You know, I mean, there's something big time wrong here. Right? Look at that shoulder. That's another thing. Okay, so that's what I'm going to write down for my next one. Shoulder is off. But what does I mean by that? Okay, see, so when you look at, for example, where angle of the arm is off, yeah, I see that, but the shoulder is off. You know, it's too small. What else? Round it off too much. Okay, so I'm writing all this stuff down. Okay, now to know exactly what I'm talking about here, you know, one of the things that I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little shape here. Okay, so that way I know what it is that I'm talking about, right? Here. Whoa, we don't want it necessarily filled, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go transparent. Give it a border color of, you know, I could go green, I could do whatever I want. You know, I don't like the green. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll do violet. There we go. Give it a nice 3-point. Cool, right? So I can see that there. I'm going to go ahead and copy, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste. So then that way I can put it right over here, right? So now see what I'm doing is I'm telling myself what it is that I need to work on. I'm sure that there's more things that you could tell, right? For example, like look at the fingers. The angles of the fingers are way off, all right? What's the negative space in here? Something's going on in here, but there's enough stuff that I can talk about in the face. So I'm looking at the things that really stand out the most. Eventually, I know I'm going to talk a little bit about the nose, but I'm not there yet, okay? Does that make sense? Or, I mean, I want to cut this video short, okay? So that's basically it. That's what I'm going to want you to do. Okay, then I want you to mark as done when you're done, so that way I could go back and look at it. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing as well is potentially maybe adding some notes for you down here. Okay, so if you just click to add speaker notes, I might be, if I'm able to add some of my own notes, maybe I will do that if I could, okay? So that's what's going on. If you have any questions, let me know. Sorry this video is too long, but hopefully you understand what's going on with it, okay? All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye now.